Hey class, wanted to make a quick video going over while loops. Sorry it's taken so long to get this out, but things have been pretty crazy. So to get started, let's just talk a little bit about loops. We've already talked about for loops in a previous video. While loops, as I've mentioned previously, are primarily designed to be used when you aren't sure how many times something needs to be counted. And essentially it's broken down like this. You have the keyword while, you perform a Boolean evaluation, and then you perform some loop action. So to show you what this looks like, these are great because this allows you to run an infinite loop. So for example, I'll go ahead and uncomment this. If I were to go ahead and run while true, this will continue printing until I stop the application. So as you can see, it just keeps going and going and going. I'll go ahead and stop that now, clear this out. Because again, this is essentially performing is this ever changing? So while this is true, and in this case true never changes, it will continually check, yep, still true, still true, still true, and it will continue to print that until it stops. Which is really nice for evaluating things, because at some point I can come here and say break, just the keyword break, which will tell it once I've hit this I need to stop. So in this case it'll just print once. So this is where we can add in conditional logic to say I want this to run forever until something occurs, which we could have used in our first assignment. Again, the other thing that we can do is we can perform this Boolean logic to check if true for counting, setting kind of like we do with the for loop. So in here, we'll go ahead and paste this over. So in here, what I'm doing is I've gone ahead and started with a count at 0. I'm going to print what we're going to be doing, which is counting up. Put a little separator, and then I will go ahead and print, and so we'll walk through this. So as you see, it came through here. The first thing we did was printed counting up. We printed out our little separator right here, and then we began our loop here. So the count starts at 0. And what we're going to do is we're going to do this check here. It says while the count is less than 4, in this case the count is 0, so then we're going to come through here and the count is definitely less than 4, so this is true. We'll go through the loop. So we'll print the current count, which is 0, as you can see over here on the right. And then we perform this, this logical operation to increase it by 1. So again, this is exactly the same as count equals count plus 1. And so then we perform this operation, which now sets count to 1. And then we come through this. So 1 is less than 4. This is still true. We then print 1. Go to the next section, increase it by 1. So count is now 2. And while count is 2, we're going to print it out, which is what we do right here. And then we will increase it again. Count is now 3. Yes, this is true. So we come down here, we print out 3, and then we come up here, we've incremented it by 1, so the count is now 4. Is it less than 4? No, it is not. It is exactly 4, so we stop this, and we will continue whatever occurs right here. So in this particular example, we count to 4, we stop, just like we would with a for loop. Now, there's another little piece of syntax that we can add in here, which is the else loop. Most languages do not support the else loop, but the else loop allows you to perform an operation once the while loop has finished. That's kind of the final step, if you will. So on here, what I've done is I just said, okay, we're going to print everything out here, and we're going to count back down. And again, go ahead and run this. So you can see this is this top part here we already went over. So I'm going to go ahead and print out this other separator. And then we will continue here and we'll say, okay, count is currently 4. So while that's greater than 0, in this case that's true, we'll go ahead and decrement or count backwards by 1, which again, this is the same as count equals count minus 1. Oops. And so then that will drop it down one number every time. So you can see here we go 3, 2, 1, 0. Once we've hit this condition, because we'll count is currently at minus 1, we will then say, okay, this is finished. This else loop must occur. So because we've evaluated to false, this will then occur, and we'll print finished. Again, while loops are extremely helpful because you can evaluate any sort of condition. Hopefully this has been helpful. Let me know if there's any way that I can make this more clear. Thanks.